Hello, and welcome back to Monifactory. Last time we started HV, and we got all this stuff, and that stuff. Well, it wasn't there, but we had it. We built up AE2 stuff, more specifically the buildings, and between episodes I've been working more so on all of this. We have autocrafting CPUs actually plugged in, we have molecular assemblers, they're not tall, don't worry about that, and we have a whole lot of machines ready for autocrafting. Additionally, I set up a little bit of infrastructure here. We have some cobbleworks, just simple stuff. This is a drawer of rubber that I just set up here because that one hooks up to that. I also got a shiny new drill. This thing is incredible. Not only is it faster than my old pickaxe, but it's also bigger, going up to a whopping 5x5x5 cubic. I would break this, but I would probably rip out half my base too, and I don't want to do that. We've also gussied the place up a little bit around here. Nothing too crazy, but, you know, the starts of living somewhere. And I imagine we'll be here for quite a while. Even if we get to EV, we might still end up leaving a lot of the infrastructure for AE2 here in HV, just because this feels like a good place to actually have a base, you know what I mean? You may have also noticed my fancy new threads. Welcome to the future, baby. Anyway, let's talk about our future. Well, the docket's a little bit out of date as we have moved into HV. But first and foremost, I would like pulsating prediction matrices for HNN. The next fuel we want is biodiesel, and we need this because ethanol probably isn't going to cut it for very much longer. To make this, we need fish oil, and we can get fish oil from fish, but for fish, we need a bunch of prediction matrices for Guardian models. Or Guardian predictions? I don't know, you probably know what I'm saying. But in order to get prediction matrices, we need to, well, make them, which requires this small processing line here. Thankfully, I have come prepared. After that, we will actually get that biodiesel going. It's no hyphen, nor is it the same word, it's bio space diesel. After that, we'll make a whole lot of combustion generators, and I don't really know beyond that. We'll see how long that gets us, and if it gets us quite far, then cool. If it doesn't, I'll figure something else out to do. There's a lot to do. Let's get started. Well, that took like 30 minutes, which is a bit longer than I thought it would, I'll be honest. So to keep things pretty visually simple, I have two separate drawer networks, so to speak. I have the blue and the orange. The blue is being imported via an export bus from the system into this drawer controller here, into anything that is blue. And the orange is anything that's an intermediary step or otherwise an output that we just want to buffer and keep. So we are importing via an export bus prediction matrices, glass, and clay into this drawer controller here. We make the prediction matrices over there, and the glass over there, and the clay over, and MB over there. I think that's over there. Looking on the map, I think I'm right. These are automatically pushed via pusher upgrade, you will see this a lot, into here, which runs the Enderman model. We get the predictions and the matter. The matter comes through this laser node here, into this one over here, just to keep it safe. And the predictions come into here, which are pushed into this fabricator here, making us ender pearls, whenever there's a prediction to fabricate, of course. These ender pearls are pushed into this extractor here to turn into the resonant ender. If anyone knows how to get a framed fluid drawer, by the way, please tell me, I would love to know. The glass is brought in through the controller once again, and electrolyzed here for nether quartz, put into this drawer here. These two drawers are pushed into this chemical reactor here to make the clathrate. The clathrate is pushed into this furnace here to smelt into pulsating dust. The pulsating dust is pushed into this alloy smelter with a frame drawer up at the top with a robot arm. The robot arm always keeps a stack of clay in stock. I don't think the pulsating dust should ever be an issue, but if it is, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And they combine into more matrices that we start with. So great, we have all the prediction matrices we should want for the near future. We might need to upgrade this in the future at some point once we need like an industrial quantity of all of this stuff, but that's a problem for later once we probably have like a billion of those and everything else involved with this. Overall, I think it's pretty good. I wish I could have pushed it over a block if I was smart and, more foresightful, but oh well, it's fine. I don't mind the machines running because they're a little far away and none of them are particularly noisy. The forge hammers are over here, however, so I'm going to knock that out. And maybe the electric furnaces at some point, but we'll see if I really feel that way. Anyway, that was cool. Let's take that off. And I need to clean up my inventory again. My inventory keeps getting so dirty so quickly, and it makes it very hard to think. Well, it's actually not that dirty right now because I cleaned it recently, but you know what I mean. So let's knock out a whole bunch of these pins. I always love doing that. I actually did not have a whole lot of time today, however, so it's already break time for me despite not being that long. But that's okay because that gives this plenty of time to run and, make goodies for me. We're already up to 355. Wow, that is a lot more than I thought we'd be at this quickly, I'll be honest. Well, if any luck, this will start backing up soon and we'll get ender pearls because I really want those. Can I do anything with these actually? I guess I can eat this stuff for XP. I mean, that'll help me make more enchants for this. I guess I didn't really talk about the drill. This is a pretty easy craft to make. We started with the diamond one and then upgraded it to netherite. The diamond drill head's pretty simple, it's just diamonds and steel. The HV power unit's nothing too crazy, it's just an HV battery and some other HV components. We did need a netherite ingot, but we had ancient debris, and I just went hunting through some bastions for the netherite template. Would you believe it? It's quite easy in peaceful mode. And this thing is gnarly! 14 mining speed and a 10,000 durability, and that is not including any durability the power might take instead. I've been using this thing quite frequently, and it's less than 70 durability of its 10,000. And I have yet to consider even putting mending on it, or unbreaking for that matter, and I believe it can have both, which is very fun. Oh, and the experience rod is like dirt cheap too. That could probably make mending very easily, especially now with the large supply of experience at my disposal. Cool. I might do that between cuts here. Anyway, I'm going to edit some footage while I slow walk backwards in my cool cyber coat thing, and I'll see you in a moment when we're ready to go take on biodiesel. Hello, I'm back. I did a couple things around here real quick. I made the 4 extra combustion generators I wanted to do. These were pretty easy, all things considered. I made this little battery buffer here of this flux cell. Currently we have some hardened integral components because we cannot yet afford the reinforced ones. And an advanced high flux RF coil. It gives it 10 times the power transfer and 4 times the capacity. I wish I could put in more of these, but I cannot. The 15,000 throughput is actually pretty close to our limit. I just upgraded to these N-steel overclockers, which has a very high throughput. And assuming we are making 8 amps of HV power, we'd be making 16,000 FV per tick. So we can't fully use 8 amps of HV, but we can use like 7.5 probably. Anyway, let's get biodieseling. As I'm sure I've spoken about already, we need guardian predictions for cod, for fish oil, and sodium hydroxide for the tiny piles to combine with our ethanol for biodiesel. So the thing about that is we actually have 2 outputs for biodiesel. We also have this glycerol stuff. I think it's used in a couple things here and there. We could recycle it into ethylene, which could be good. We can make this glycerol trinitrate. I don't know what this is used for, and frankly I'm too scared to ask. Or epichlorohydrin, which I feel like I remember hearing somewhere. Maybe this is like epoxy? Oh wow, okay. Yeah, so we'll probably want to buffer this stuff for epoxy. So we'll have like a second output, maybe just on top of the chemical reactor here. Speaking of chemical reactors, the input is going to be ethanol and the fish oil. I don't know if we actually need to buffer fish oil. It's probably a good idea to do that, so we'll buffer it all the same. Oh, that's not where it goes. There. We'll have the extractor for our fish oil here. I'm also starting to see some logistical problems, I think. We need to input sodium hydroxide in here as well, and have outputs, so we might just use a LaserIO conduit, or node, and just like have a bunch of stuff that I'll figure out later. I'll get there. We'll need a loot fabricator, we'll have this here, and we'll have the drawer of fish right here. We'll set 2 simulation chambers right here, and we'll probably have a couple drawers right here for the matter and predictions. The sodium hydroxide we're going to get via a packer of the large piles of sodium hydroxide, and we're just going to get this from adding water to sodium because we have so much sodium, we really don't need to do anything with this. We get so much sodium hydroxide out of this too that I really don't think we'll ever run out. And if we need more sodium for anything, well, shame on me, I guess. So we'll set the packer here. There'll be another drawer here that I forgot to make. And another chemical reactor right here. Okay, so I think we need a laser node here and here for power, here for sodium, and probably water. And that might be it. Probably not. We probably need to move this drawer somewhere. Maybe I should think about this before I commit to this. Okay, I think this is better. I just gotta put the nodes in place and all that, and upgrades and stuff. So you'll probably see a quick little series of clips about that. Alright, I think it's pretty good. Looks good to me, at least. There's a couple things I need to fix, but mostly that's just like put a void upgrade on this, make this bigger, stuff like that. We're actually able to use an HV extractor here because the extractor is very power light, actually. I almost think I might be able to get away with like an EV one if we had it, but we don't, so that's not great. That said, the simulation chambers can't even keep up with this yet, so this is the current bottleneck, but not by much. We have about half uptime on this chemical reactor for actually making the biodiesel, which I think is good. Once it finishes filling these buffers, I am interested to see how long it takes to fill. But we'll see that once we get there. Let me go get a couple of void upgrades, and I'll be right back. Oh, I should go get some obsidian. You know what? That's what the end is for. I'm gonna go to the end. I'm gonna do like a whole bunch of platinum too, actually, because I should probably get some of that soon. Excuse me, ma'am. I need to do some deconstruction. Oh, what kind of ores are here? Bauxite, aluminum, ilmenite. Is that? Oh, you didn't actually do anything. Okay. No, you just vibes, I guess. All right. Check this out, though. Boom. And who needs vein miner? Oh, what a power trip this is. Oh man, this is pretty fun, actually. I'm ripping up the end island, but that's okay. We don't live here. Only dragons do. Hey! I don't know if that caught on video. You just blasted through my ores, jerkbag! That was highly valuable platinum! Can you believe that? Get up here. Get over here. I've got a bone to pick with you now. Get back here. Yeah. Yeah. Get drilled. Yeah. I was about to say, I'm drilling you from behind, but I think that has a pretty different connotation, actually. That's probably not something you should say to a dragon. Okay, let's go home with whatever little bit of pride I have left. Well, I guess that's those two things already done. There we go. This is not a full episode. Well, new plan. I'm gonna edit footage and think about what I should do next. I do have a list. Let me pull up that list. Let's see. I would want to do some circuit board chemicals, or ore processing, or maybe more auto crafting stuff, or maybe better AE2. I don't think I need to do that really anymore. Or distillation towers, or new plastics, or maybe upgrade some of my tools and armor. Oh man. Honestly, it's a lot less than I thought there would be. I thought I was going to be here in HV forever. Oh, I could also get rid of all these pins now, too. Nice. Wow, it looks so bare. I like it. Well, it looks like our ender pearls have finished backing up, so I'm going to be making a whole big batch of vibrant alloy here. Our prediction matrices are also holding up quite well. Matrices, not matrices. I have to use the right word because I'm smart and fancy and a nerd. And I think this is going fine. I should probably put like a void upgrade on this thing. But otherwise, maybe I get like another one of these simulation chambers, or maybe two? I don't know. Because we're already out of fish like entirely. I do get a stack every time I win, but I mean, that's not the greatest chance because it's like 30 and 30, so that's like functionally like 10 and 10 chance, you know what I mean? It's not often, and we aren't like backed up on biodiesel. Like we're getting there, but I'm not sure if we're netting a positive yet because I'm not sure if we're making it fast enough. I guess this is just something I'll watch for a little while. It doesn't really matter because we can just go back to ethanol if we really need to, but I would rather not. I think I might also adjust where these pipes are in the floor because that line is going to kill me. That line is going to kill me. I'm going to get so angry if I come down here and see that stupid like Z fighting line every time. Why is that like that? What's the point of a facade if it... very strange, very strange. I think I saw a quest around here though, right? Oh, it's up here. I guess I should grab some sodium hydroxide for purposes of quests, though, right? Cool. We do have that. Oh, can I make cetane boosted diesel? I would need tetranitromethane. What's this take to make? Question mark. I should probably look at the quest for that instead of my pockets. Nitric acid, ethanone, acetic acid, cetane boosted diesel. How much better is this than biodiesel? 1440 or 256. Wow, cetane boosted diesel is way better. What? It needs double the tetranitromethane, but like we already have all the infrastructure for that. Wow, that's something worth considering, that's for sure. Isn't it a little crazy that we're breaking into the EV chapter through the fuels? We might actually be closer to epoxy than our actual intended circuit boards. What do we need for these boards again? Plastic? Yeah, any of these plastics really. What's the long one take to make? What do I need for this? Am I at the point in which I could like look at that? Because that might be worth doing if I am at that point. Teflon! That's a good name for it. I like that. That's a much better name. So oxygen and the rest of it, which is chloroform and hydrofluoric acid, which is fluorine and hydrogen. There's probably some good way of getting fluorine, I'd have to imagine. What about chloroform? Chlorine and methane? I know there's a lot of good ways to get methane. What about chlorine? Oh, there's a lot of ways to get chlorine. Okay, so salt water? Oh, we'd also get like a ton of sodium hydroxide. It's fine. You know what? Who really cares? I think I saw salt was another way, but like I feel like salt you just get from that anyways. Or like an ore, which I guess we could do, but yeah, we could probably just like go dig up a bunch of salt, and maybe that's worth doing it for chlorine, at least to start. I don't know. I'm looking at a very complex chemical line just because, I don't know, for fun. So maybe I should quit rambling already. Alright, I'm going to buffer some more biodiesel and monitor the situation, and I will be back shortly. Hopefully there's going to be more content this episode. Bear with me here. And we're back once again. I've been letting a lot more of the machines around the base run, including the biodiesel setup down here. I added 2 more simulation chambers to constantly make sure our fish is topped up so that we can actually keep the chemical reactor running as frequently as we can. And it seems like our biodiesel drawer is almost full to capacity. The only thing we're really missing is ethanol, and that's probably because I forgot to put a void upgrade on the wood pulp drawer. Yep, that seems about right. Between clips, I've also upgraded the armor a little bit. We now have these traveler's pants that are made of sky slime, or not sky slime, earth slime. They have this over slime, which basically is like a, if you're familiar with Borderlands, it's like the Borderlands shield. It sort of regenerates an over slime durability 2 bar over time. It's pretty slow, but I mean, we don't really need that because we get hit by like a piece of lava once every 20 hours, so it's fine. I did a whole lot of upgrading, so now the pants have Speedy 3 and Leaping 2, so we can jump pretty high. I made some exoskeleton legs, which stack with these pants, which is probably, you know, cheating, I guess, to some degree, but like, oh no, I get to run a little bit faster. You know, this is truly going to impact progression. And I also got some boots here. These have Depth Strider and Feather Falling too. I'm not sure how it stacks up to Vanilla's Feather Falling, but this is half damage reduction for fall damage. So we can fall from pretty far without, you know, dying instantly. Like we're at 123. Yeah, 30 blocks and we're alive. I mean, that's better than normal. Anyway, it's time for the second half of the docket. Docket's so nice, I made it twice. So first off, we have the fluid rig. I need salt water for a lot of things. Then we want some deep slate to do a whole processing line I'll get to shortly. And both of these serve the goal of making fluorine and chlorine, which each in turn serve the goal of making polytetrafluoroethylene, or Teflon. So deep slate you can grind up into deep slate dust, which you can centrifuge into biotite here, and biotite electrolyzes quite nicely into fluorine. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's tolerable. If we look at the Teflon recipe tree here, we can see that the main components are oxygen, which we have a large quantity of just from doing anything, really. Chlorine, which we can get from salt water, which we can pump from the oceans with a fluid rig. Methane, which we have a good amount of. I believe we have like 140 buckets of this stuff, so that should get us going for at least a little while, and it's not too hard to make more. It's just centrifuging rubber wood trees, which I should probably be doing anyway, but we'll get there when we need to. Hydrogen, which also comes from many things, including salt water. And fluorine, which comes from the aforementioned biotite. After some number of chemical reactions, we get our tetrafluoroethylene, and combined with the oxygen, we get our Teflon. So as a preliminary step, I have put up a little brief processing line up here. Now typically I would like a rock breaker for deep slate. Unfortunately, this is an EV recipe for some reason. I really don't know why. It uses half an amp of EV, like I guess because it's too much for an HV machine, but I really don't understand why this needs to be an EV rock breaker, but that's what the game says, so we must abide. But that is okay, I have a large amount of extra deep slate to go, and we'll just chuck this all in here. And we'll let it run. I forgot to set up power here. That would probably help, wouldn't it? Whoops. Okay, these are like really loud. So we can take the silicon dioxide and we'll just store it up here. I don't think we'll need very much of this. And we'll put the biotite here. I believe there's a pusher upgrade. No, there isn't. I said pusher upgrade. And now we're electrolyzing biotite in here. And we should get a whole lot of goodies. Yes, here we are. We get potassium, magnesium, aluminum, and silicon. Sorry, aluminium. It's spelled very specifically in this pack. Potassium and magnesium I don't believe we get anywhere else currently. Aluminium and silicon is nice to have more of, I suppose. And we'll probably just put a void upgrade on this, honestly, because we don't really care about this that much. No, we care far more about the fluorine here. And I guess the oxygen we can also just keep like a backlog of. We'll just also avoid this. There we are, and we're buffering. I should probably get some storage upgrades on these, though. Yeah, and now we're turning deep slate into very renewable fluorine. And once we hit EV, we'll be able to turn this fully passive. And you know me, I love passive processes. Gosh darn it. You know what? I was going to do a cool little montage. I guess I can do that later. I had a great bit for this. I was thinking about this all day yesterday as I was like kind of like finalizing my thoughts. I was like, oh, this is going to be such a funny bit. Because we're making polytetrafluoroethylene, right? Or PTFE. So that means it's PTFE time! Oh, check it out. Teflon. Fancy. I wonder how much of this stuff I need for each LCR. For context, for those not as Greg in the head as I am, polytetrafluoroethylene, or Teflon, is really good at making pipes and, other types of plastic, but the big gate that it unlocks is the Large Chemical Reactor. As the quest says, it can combine several chemical reactor steps into one step, such as making the tetrafluoroethylene, albeit that needs an IV recipe. Nitric acid up here is made a bit easier with an LCR. Sulfuric acid's a lot easier. Epoxy and the epoxy pieces are a lot easier, and it's required for some things like gasoline and polybenzimidazole. Oh, you don't really see two Z's in one word very often, do ya? It is also a perfect overclocking machine, which means if you have it running at a higher energy tier, it will quadruple the speed instead of doubling it, which is crazy. But that's a little overzealous, I think. Once again, we still don't have EV circuits, or even, like, good HV circuits. Like, we're down here, and maybe we should come back here for a little bit. So I think the next big goal will be these plastic printed circuit boards, which requires these normal plastic circuit boards. Which, oh hey, would you look at that! If you use polytetrafluoroethylene, you get 4 circuit boards, instead of PVC, which would give you 2. I hope PVC isn't used very much else, because otherwise I might be sad that I have to still go make it. Probably not. So good job us, we skipped polyvinyl chloride. Maybe. Potentially. That said, I don't know how long that's gonna go for, in terms of, like, footage time, or how long the episode is at this point. Oh my gosh, we have, like, a lot. I believe our current only backlog is actually our lack of deep slate, which is fine. I guess I can mine more. Like, I have the big drill. It's okay. We're also quickly getting quite tall on our floors. I mean, look at how far we're going up already. But I really like how this looks. This looks really cool. I'm really happy how this is coming out. It seems like power's pretty okay too, which is good, because, power's important. Yeah, we're really not even, like, hitting a dent in our biodiesel supplies, which is awesome. Well, that is one thick docket. It's all completed, albeit I guess probably some of these things are, pretty easy to put into one thing. Like, these are just the same thing, really. Like, let's be real here. Cool. I'm gonna go edit some footage, and I'll be right back. I don't know if we have much else to do. If we do have a lot of time, we'll do circuit boards, and if we don't have a lot of time, maybe I'll do a block factory finally, because I'm very tired of making bit by hand. Like, look at this. We need these Aurora blocks and these cores, and the Aurora blocks need more cores and glass, and the cores need cobbleworks. I mean, I guess it's fine, but, I would at least like to be able to auto-craft it, you know what I mean? Anyway. Hello, I'm back. And we are out of time because I have no more days left. I am behind on uploads again. This keeps happening. There's too many things to do in this pack, and it takes too long. So I think I will be wrapping it up here, and next time we'll be working on new circuits. Naturally though, new circuits probably means EV circuits, which means clean room. So I guess EV soon? I guess it makes sense that it took this long. I just didn't think about it. While we're here though, I should probably hook up these drawers to the network, which thankfully looks like that drawer down there has plenty of space to get to all of these drawers here. So now we have things like hydrochloric acid, and of course that sweet polytetrafluoroethylene already in our system, ready to go. So given we have all this stuff digitized now, I think next time we're going to really start focusing in on these chemicals up here. Sodium persulfate shouldn't be too bad. I think this is mostly just some sodium hydroxide and sulfuric acid, which we have both of. But because we have LCRs, I do want a better way of making sulfuric acid now. Currently, the only thing we have is over an MV, and it's what we use for polyethylene, and that's not great. I would much prefer a real sulfuric reactor setup. Sulfuric reactor? Sulfuric acid. I'm just saying words. And iron 3 chloride is actually very easy. Because we already have all this hydrochloric acid, we have a lot of hydrochloric acid, so it's really just iron in the, and we'll just have like a ton of this stuff, and it's really easy and cheap to get like a lot of, which will also help a lot for making the phenolic circuit boards. I'm not sure if we'll need these anymore, but it's good to have them. Yeah, we'll need these for NAND chips, and it's good to have a bunch of ULV circuits, because these are how we make the LaserIO cards, so that'll be good. Yeah, I think circuits will actually be pretty easy. I think the hardest part will probably be the clean room, and if we're lucky, we might be able to push all the way to the reinforced integral components and vacuum freezer next time, but we'll see when we get there. Maybe we'll finish out this chapter. Whippy! Anyway, I've slightly increased the length of my jacket because I felt like it looked cooler, but that's where I will be calling it for today. We did quite a lot, I think. I mean, polytetrafluoroethylene is quite a lot, and biodiesel is quite a lot. We did so much chemistry. It's so much chemistry. I was never really good at chemistry in high school, so I guess this is my penance for that. Anyhow, thank you for watching. I'm going to go take a bunch of screenshots of me and the fancy new duds, and you'll see it on the thumbnail, and you'll be like, wow, why do they look so different? And now you'll know. Anyway, hope to catch you next time. Bye-bye. So for that, we need Guardian predictions for the as I've gone through, as I'm sure I've spoken about already.